Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. We have a good one for you today, although it does get off to a... Well, I don't want to say it gets off to a slow start, because it's not like there's nothing happening at the start of this battle. There absolutely is. But RedSuperchat here is in the USS Montana, and while it's definitely not a slow battleship, it is still a battleship, and it takes a while to get around the map. I do like the Montana. And you know, the surprising thing is that it's one of those ships, like the USS Des Moines, that has almost entirely been untouched since it was first introduced into the game all of those years ago. I mean, it had its Citadel lowered shortly after release, mostly because of Montana captains giving broadsides to Yamatos and then crying about getting Citadeled, but other than that, it basically hasn't been messed around with. It has stood the test of time. At one point, this was the ship with the heaviest weight of fire in the game on its broadside. Even though, I mean, I can't believe I live in a world where we're saying it only has 16-inch guns. But, you know, with ships like the Yamato around, with bigger guns, the Montana still delivered a heavier broadside. Mostly because it's got more of them, even if they are lower caliber. 12 16-inch guns. And the accuracy's pretty good. As RedSuperchat unloads. Salvo against the St. Vincent over there. The range of these guns is phenomenally good as well. The weight of fire is fantastic. The only real downside... Oh, and it's got good accuracy too. But the only real downside is the length of time it takes these super heavy armor-piercing shells to get there. Which is why RedSuperchat is aiming for large targets that take time to turn. Like the St. Vincent. Because at maximum range, it takes so long... Oh, that was nice. Yeah, there you go. It takes so long for these super heavy armor piercing shells to actually get there that if you're shooting at anything other than something with a really bad rudder shift, like a battleship, the chances are good that you're just going to miss. If they're paying attention, I mean, you can absolutely clap the cheeks of completely oblivious cruisers, but you're unlikely to hit a destroyer. At this kind of range at the start of the battle, you're generally better off aiming for the other battleships. But if you spot a cruiser that's been sailing a straight line for a while, or is stationary, lobbing shells at you from around the corner of an island, yeah, go for it. These 16-inch armor-piercing shells absolutely clap. It's got the St. Vincent again. Well, disappointing. Oh well, never mind. Oh, some shots coming in there from the Hindenburg. That Hindenburg could... Oh, there's the carrier. And it's in range. And it's gone. Oh well, never mind. Yes, if that Hindenburg starts switching to high explosive, this could be problematic. In fact, it's already been set on fire from another direction. But this is fine. Fire damage. Your damage repair part, you can take care of that. It's armor piercing and citadel damage that you have to watch out for. Good hit on the Hindenburg. Hindenburg has switched to high explosive. Do you see what he did there? He's actually throttle juking to troll the Hindenburg into missing. In case you're unfamiliar with the term, it's the act of slowing down and then speeding up unpredictably in order to throw off enemy aiming. And it's something that you typically see in fast cruisers and destroyers, not in battleships. Because battleships tend to not... Oh, beautiful, beautiful hits on the Hindenburg. But yes, battleships tend to not respond particularly well to throttle commands. But when you're at this kind of range, it can work. Oh, and don't worry, this isn't just going to be an entire 20 minutes of RedSuperchat sailing around at maximum range, chipping away 5,000 health here and 10,000 health there with his armor-piercing shells. He's doing that right now. Well, he's not even really doing that right now. He is closing in to support... Oh, hang on a second. I think this is going to be... Yep. Good night, North Carolina. There's his first kill. He is moving forward. He's not just lurking around at the map border, looking for broadsides to paddle. Oh, like the Yamato over there. I mean, he is moving up to support, because there's an opportunity here to take that cap circle now that North Carolina's dead. They're probably going to deal with the Hindenburg as well, though. He's got an opportunity to paddle the broadside of the Yamato here, and you'd be a fool not to take it. There's the Hindenburg. That and the enemy carrier are really the only two things protecting the enemy cap circle at Alpha. And he is moving up Oh, and there's a citadel on the Yamato. Yeah, he is moving up to support the Thrasher against the enemy submarine here, along with the St. Louis. Oh, actually, it's French, so the Saint Louis. Yeah, if it was an American ship, it would be called the St. Louis. In fact, there is an American ship called the St. Louis, but it's not American, it's French, so I'll pronounce it properly. Or as close as I can get. So if they can take out that sub and then, if not sink, at least drive off the Hindenburg, they'll be free to take that cap circle. Which they really do kind of need, because, well, that would flip the balance of the cap circles. At the moment, the enemy team have 2, and RedSuperchat's team only have 1, but if they can take Alpha off them, then they will have 2, and the enemy team will only have 1. That still leaves the cap circle at Charlie up for grabs, though. Decent hits on the enemy submarine, also crippled some of his torpedo tubes. That's going to be a big help. Oh, and depth charge hits as well. This is all going to help out the friendly Thresher. And if the San Luis can close in and maybe get its own depth charges away. Does it even get depth charges? It's been so long since I played that ship, I don't know. But anyway, every little helps. But they really do need to take that submarine out. Oh, there's the Hindenburg. He either needs to be killed or persuaded to bugger off. And there's the kill on the enemy submarine. The Balaur's down. Yeah, reasonable hit on the Hindenburg. Hopefully it's persuaded him to exit stage right. Because without the Hindenburg, they only really need to worry about the enemy carrier, the Audacious. They're probably going to catch him too, because he has not taken the hint. I know, really surprising. And is still lurking around the island up to the north, leaving it way too late to be able to get out of there intact. It looks like they're going to get the Hindenburg, courtesy of the friendly Midway. Go on, Hindenburg. Just dodge. Hindenburg, why didn't you dodge? Right, there's the Audacious. Oh, right. Not even hiding behind the island. Okay. Well, he's only got the front turrets, but hey, shots out. Oh, that's not good. Enemy Chapayev just took out the friendly Hindenburg elsewhere on the map, but good news. The San Luis over here finished off the enemy Hindenburg, which means that the Audacious is now the only thing that can prevent these guys from flipping that cap circle. And there's no way the Audacious can defend against all 3 of them at once. I mean, I know carriers are overpowered, but there are limits. Oh, hello, that's a very nice broadside you've got there, HMS Audacious. It would be a real shame if somebody were to... can you even Citadel British carriers? All stations requesting... Yes, you can. Oh, now he's trying to duck behind the island. Yeah, I think he's a day late and several shillings short on that one. Meanwhile, things are not going particularly well elsewhere on the map. The team have just lost their Yamato, swiftly followed by the loss of one of the submarines. Ha. So they're now behind 1 kill. Although it's not that bad, because now they've equalised the kills with the destruction of the carrier, and the aircraft that it did manage to get off are unlikely to be able to kill anything. So, I mean, the Thresher's taken a beating over there, but he's still alive. The San Luis basically on full health, as more or less is RedSuperchat here. I mean, I know he's not, but he's got a heal ready to go. In fact, he hasn't used any of his heals yet. And that heal will repair almost all of the damage that he sustained, taking him probably back up to about 95% health. So, all in all, this is actually looking pretty good. Both teams have suffered 5 losses, but RedSuperchat's team have 2 of the 3 cap circles. The cap circle at Charlie is still up for grabs. They're still behind on points because the enemy team had 1 extra cap circle for, well, most of the match. But that situation's been reversed. They're tied on kills, and they should, providing nobody else dies, start pulling ahead on points really, really soon, because now they're only 10 points behind. Oh, and then they lose their Shimakaze. Me and my big mouth. Things are going to get a lot worse before they start getting any better. Oh, and this is a North American server replay, by the way, in case it wasn't immediately obvious. Just hang around and start paying attention to chat, and any uncertainty will very soon be cleared up. I do love the chat on the North American server. Okay, some good hits there on the St. Vincent. St. Vincent did get some return fire off though, but well, you know, one of these two ships is a battleship and the other one isn't. So, yes, I know the St. Vincent sits in the British battleship line, but it's a battle cruiser. And if there were any doubt, here we go in chat. There's RedSuperchat. Move out St. Vincent. Actual battleships are here. The St. Vincent's trying to heal. And... oh wow, it didn't actually die instantly, although it is on fire. Possibly as a result of fire set by the high explosive spam from the French Tier 9 cruiser, the Saint Louis up there. He's getting more shots out. I don't think the St. Vincent is going to survive this. I mean, he's given it the old college try, but I think the Saint Louis is going to finish him off unless RedSuperchat gets to reload and fire again. Oh, he does get some shots out, but yep, the Saint Louis gets him. Right. And despite all of the return fire, RedSuperchat is basically still on 90% health. And he's only used one charge of his damage repair party. In other news, the team are now... well, they're not that far ahead on points, but they are ahead, and they have managed to sneak that third cap circle at Charlie. Kills are once again even. So, if you're sitting there watching this battle thinking to yourself, well, it all looks pretty good, but what could possibly go wrong? Then you are clearly a long-time viewer and veteran of this YouTube channel. First, less than a minute later, the enemy Yu Yang, well, one of them, they still have two, nails the Thunderer. So that's a bit of a blow to morale. I mean, the Thunderer is a very good ship. The team could have used it. However, we have a light cruiser caught in the open, giving broadside to a Montana's 16-inch heavyweight armor-piercing shells. So... that's evened that one up. Right, what's next? See, at the moment, there's not an awful lot that RedSuperchat can do because all of the available enemies are on the far side of that island mountain range. But he's anticipated this. He's already turning. As the rest of the team head over to the left, he's turning around to the right. He can maybe park up on the corner, get some crossfire shots in, or if he needs to, go aggressive and take the pressure away from the more fragile members of the rest of his team. That certainly seems to be his plan. Oh, enemy submarine spotted. Get some depth charges away. It's just going to take him a minute or so to get there. So, for the moment, the rest of the team are on their own. And here's where everything starts to go a little bit pear-shaped. They've just lost the Thresher, although he has managed to score a couple of depth charge hits on the enemy submarine. Actually, it looks like everybody's scoring all kinds of hits on the enemy submarine. Unfortunately, none of them are killing him. The same cannot be said of the enemy Alaska B, who's just finished off the Saint Louis. So... the initial plan, and it was, you know, kind of ad hoc, nobody actually sat down and discussed this, but the initial idea was for RedSuperchat to come around this side of the island. Everybody else, including the Saint Louis, go around the other side of the island and catch the enemy team in a crossfire. Unfortunately, the crossfire only works if there are ships on both flanks, and now there kind of aren't. Well, I mean, there's a North Carolina over there, but we don't know how much health he's on, and he probably doesn't want to go toe-to-toe with, oh, the Yamato, sitting around the corner, licking his lips, waiting for RedSuperchat to make his move. Because RedSuperchat is, of course, spotted by the Yu Yang. By at least one of the Yu Yangs. Don't forget, the enemy team do still have two of them. Now, you have to be asking yourself the question here, why did the Yu Yang just reveal his position by starting to shoot at a battleship that has way more health than a Yu Yang is going to take out with a couple of salvos from its 127mm guns? Could it possibly be because he wants that battleship to change course in order to catch him with the deep water torpedoes that he's already launched?
Torpedoes dead ahead.
I think it might. Okay. Yeah, RedSuperchat saw that one coming. He's seen a couple of John Wayne westerns. He knows what an ambush looks like. So... yeah, there it is. He's managed to... okay, and that's the Kraken Unleashed, by the way. Now, of course, is... well, he has two problems. One, the North Carolina's just died, and there's only two of them left alive. But that Yamato is the big problem. Because the Yamato's 18.1-inch shells can smash through his bow armour, and his 16-inch shells cannot do the same to the Yamato. What he really needs... oh dear, is for the Yamato to do exactly that, so he can take advantage of the cheek armor vulnerability right under the turrets and clap the ever-loving bejesus out of the Citadel, right on the other side of it. You see, the Montana has to angle against the Yamato in order to try to take its shots on the belt. The Yamato is supposed to stay nose in, to avoid stuff like that happening. Apparently this Yamato didn't get that memo. I know RedSuperchat did though. And yeah. Kill number 6. There's still just 2 of them left against 3 enemies, however. But while RedSuperchat has demonstrated that he really doesn't seem to care about the numbers, it's really not so much the number of enemy ships he's facing, it's the kind of enemy ships that he's facing. The submarine is bad news if you're in a battleship. And the surviving Yu Yang, who's probably the one keeping him spotted, isn't exactly good news either. Because while the Montana is a great ship, it has very limited utility. By that I mean it doesn't get hydroacoustic search. Oh, wow, yeah, here we go.
Torpedoes direct front.
How many torpedoes can this thing launch?
Torpedoes dead
Right, he's
ahead.
dodged those, and there's
Torpedoes
more coming.
to
Oh, wow.
Torpedoes direct front.
Are there any
Torpedoes to
more?
board. Torpedoes astern.
He's flooding. He's got the heel off. The problem here is all of these manoeuvres and throttle adjustments to try to avoid getting torpedoed by the submarine are kind of setting him up for some deep water torpedoes by the Yu Yang, who was almost certainly the one keeping him spotted, allowing that submarine to dive and reduce the effectiveness of these depth charge attacks. And he's in a battleship. It's not like he can disengage and go undetected. There's even more torpedoes coming. How many torpedoes does this thing get to launch? What the actual hell is going on here? I mean, he's just trying to stay alive for as long as he possibly can for the depth charges to come off cooldown. But all of there it is. Well, he's not going to survive this. And then there was one. The Midway. Now, at this point, the team do still have a cap advantage, but the enemy team are flipping Charlie. That's the Alaska. And because the Midway is capable of thinking and breathing at the same time, he's focusing his rocket attack planes, who successfully struck the Alaska there, resetting his capture progress. And he's doing it again. Go on, Alaska. Just dodge. The Alaska didn't just dodge. Now, while this was going on, you can see it there. RedSuperchat was there advising the Midway, and honestly I don't think he really needed to tell the Midway, because I'm pretty sure the Midway's got the message. But it doesn't hurt to cover your bases. He's telling the Midway, run. Just run and do not look back. Less than 2.5 minutes of the battle remaining and a 250 point lead, 2 caps. Even if the enemy flip another one of those caps, which they might do, but they should have enough of a points lead to still win, either because the timer runs out and they're ahead on points, or because they reach 1,000 points ahead of the enemy team. Oof, dive bombers on the Alaska this time, and still the Alaska doesn't just dodge. Oh, well, never mind. You know, it's almost as if there's absolutely nothing the Alaska can do here against an undetected enemy who can keep a line of sight block between you and it while simultaneously pummeling you with complete impunity and remaining completely safe from retaliation all the while they're doing it. Although, to be fair to the Midway player here, he is doing absolutely everything right. I mean, I've seen other carrier players in similar circumstances completely screw it up by just, for some bizarre reason, sailing out of cover or just not moving at all. I mean, we've had countless examples in a Game of Thrones where we've had the one player left alive on the team who's ahead on points. They've got the cap circle bonus. They're facing insurmountable odds. All they have to do to stay alive is stay undetected. They literally have to do nothing in order to win, and yet every time they always seem to choose violence, get themselves killed and throw the match. The thing about a carrier is you can stay undetected, you can run, you can take the win, but you can also clap the bejesus out of anybody following you and trying to put you down before... I mean, he doesn't even need to sink the Alaska. But he's going to. And, I mean, why shouldn't he? He's in a carrier. It's not like he's risking anything by doing it. 962 points. There goes the Alaska. 997 points. The enemy are flipping 2 of the remaining caps, but it doesn't matter. There's 1,000 points. There's the win. Solo warrior for the Midway. And you know what? Fair play to him. He did absolutely everything right. So it was a well-deserved medal. And well done to RedSuperchat too. I mean, 300,000 damage, 6 kills, and 3,300 base XP. It's not bad either. He didn't do it alone, though. I mean, this wasn't... It kind of looks like it was, but it wasn't really an example of one player dragging the team to the victory line, kicking and screaming every step of the way. He wouldn't have been able to do it without the Thresher and the San Luis over on the western flank. And, well, he died, so he clearly wouldn't have been able to do it without the Midway either. So I think we can all say that that was definitely a team effort, but I think we can also probably agree that certain members of the team were more valuable than others. RedSuperchat, USS Montana, North American server. Hope you all enjoyed it, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.